Jess. Welcome and welcome back to the Not Carrie Bradshaw YouTube channel. In this video, we are talking about Season 3, Episode 1 of Gilded Age. Our low stakes girlies are back to get us invested in the low stakes of their lives. Okay, let's get right into it. So George Russell is out west trying to scam miners out of their land so that he can expand his railroad. And the miners are like, listen, we know these mines ain't shit, but they're our mines. So you gonna have to pay us. Like, this is how this works. You want the land, we want the money. It doesn't matter that the mines don't work. And they're kind of like making a fair point. I also want to say that I do not love how George treats Mr. Clay. Like, that kind of blew me a little bit. And then, was the note about the bank, was that legit, or was it just a ruse for him to leave to get back to New York to help Gladys and her bangs? Speaking of Gladys and her bangs, Bertha is on a mission to set Gladys out on the stroll for the Duke, okay? And what we're ultimately seeing here is Gladys wants to marry for love because her daddy told her that she could. Bertha, as a woman of her time, sees marriage as a way for a woman to assert herself in the world. If you marry the right man, you can impact culture, you can be in the right rooms where it happens. If you marry for love, all you have is that marriage, right? And I kind of see where she's going with that, because what she wants Gladys to understand is that even though Billy Carlton comes from a good family, you ain't never had to live without nothing. You got down there to Skid Row and see how much love them folks have between themselves living in tenement housing and whatnot. So I understand her point. And then when you think about like being a mother, which I can't relate, I don't know anything about that. All I got is a couple of houseplants around here, okay? But I could understand wanting to set your daughter up for success. However, I think that it's a very interesting decision that she got Sargent, this real life painter, who in real life, he basically painted a Creole woman who was married to an older gentleman, and he painted her with her shoulder strap falling. This created such a scandal because this woman was somewhat of a socialite, and he didn't even name her. Her name was like Madam X, but everybody knew who it was. This woman was basically kind of like a hot girl socialite of the era, and it created such a scandal that he painted this woman with her shoulder kind of suggestively showing, that he had to repaint it with the shoulder strap up. So the fact that this man was low-key like a pornographer of the age, and Bertha was like, why don't you come pay my daughter, capture her turning into a woman? Baby, that is your child. Like, Bertha is legit trying to set Gladys and her bangs out. And can we just say that Gladys is so funny looking? Like, is the dude actually into her? Like, I think we're forcing this. And Bertha is really like going out of her way. Like, she's planting little stories, letting people know like he gonna be around here if anybody is curious. But Gladys and her bangs are really into Billy Carlton, and Larry is being such a good brother, like helping her sneak around. And I just think that's so cute. But I'm real irritated with Billy's mammy for running her mouth. Girl, keep your mouth closed. Ain't nobody told you to say nothing. So now Mrs. Fish is probably gonna be on the outs, because although she is the town gossip, and a part of me is like, I feel like Homegirl's really just in this for the plot. Like, she's just in it for the intrigue of it. She don't really care about these people. But Bertha is going to find a way to punish her for taking part in this kind of sort of date. Oh, we just ran into them at the opera. Like, girl, I bet you did. So the Van Ryn sisters are at odds with each other. There is a power struggle here because now Ada is the HBIC, and, you know, Agnes's son lost all their money, you know, to the hot girl from last season. And let's pull up right here. Do we feel sorry for Oscar? Because on the one hand, Oscar was out here trying to scam and scheme on women, but it was mostly to hide his homosexuality. He couldn't be openly gay, so it's like, I empathize with him. He had to give up his cute little bachelor pad. And Ada was like, baby, you ain't getting no allowance around here. I'll clothe you. You can be housed. You'll be fed. But I'm not going to give you money to go run the streets. Especially, not like, first of all, you need to go get a job, ho. But then also, you messed over the whole family's fortune. Were it not for my husband dying, we would be destitute. So you don't get no money to mess over, you know? And I can kind of understand it. But it's just so cute to me how Ada is just like, well, it can't be that hard to find a job now, can it? I'm gonna tell y'all something else. I'm on Agnes' side about this temperance shit, okay? Alcohol is not the scourge of society. Poverty is the scourge of society. Poverty is a symptom of unregulated capitalism. Them folks that's down there, you know, down and out on the sick and shut-in list and all of those things, that's because you people have everything up here, okay? It's not the alcohol. And like, for God's sake, you gotta let people drink. They didn't have TV. They didn't have podcasts. They didn't have phones. They didn't have TikTok. They didn't have nothing, okay? Well, they had books, but you can only read so much. Let a bitch get a midday buzz. Like, what are we talking about? I would have been very irritated with the temperance meeting as well. And then it's always so heavy-handed. This homegirl was up there like, all y'all going to hell. Baby, for a sip of wine? Didn't Jesus turn water to wine? What are we talking about? It's like, those kinds of people just always go so hard in the opposite direction. Like, let's find a middle ground here. Nobody is saying that you need to be a functioning alcoholic, which a lot of them people back then were. But we ain't gotta just throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know, I was on Agnes' side with that. I'm also not surprised that Agnes is somewhat of, it's like she's kind of into the suffragette movement, but she's also still a white woman. So she's not completely on board with Marianne having a job and getting outside. And I think that it's so fascinating that Marianne is like, shit, I can go out here, I can bring some money in. You know, she's out here getting a job. And Oscar is like, oh, I was born rich. I wasn't born to make money. There's a difference. Like, okay, diva. I found that line to be absolutely hilarious. Y'all, do we trust Larry to really look out for our boy Jack Russell with this whole clock thing? I feel so bad for Jack because he's this brilliant, well-intentioned kid, and this person came to him with this opportunity. And Adelheid from across the street being a hating asshole, I'm telling y'all right now, I don't like her. I don't like her. You sit your ass outside and shine them shoes gleefully, okay? If that man want to try to make a better life for himself, who are you to tell him that he don't deserve that? What a loser. I hate her. I'm calling it right now. Again, I am so irritated that Miss Carlton put our girl and her bangs on blast about her possible relationship. Sorry, y'all, I'm checking my notes. So Peggy went home to get a letter from her parents notifying her that a selection from her book is going to be published in this paper. I don't remember from last season, but I'm curious whether or not the paper knows that she's Black. Is Peggy writing under a different name? I'm very curious about that. But Peggy gets sick because it's like this huge snow day, you know, pretty late in the spring, well, early in the spring for snow. And she gets sick. And of course, the family doctor will not see her because she's a Black woman. And it's like, y'all really didn't know that man wasn't gonna see her. What is going on? So they done sent for her mom and them, which we're very happy about. I am so looking forward to seeing how the Van Ryn family receives this Black family. What is it gonna be like for them to be on the Upper East Side, not as workers, but as like just New York citizens who are not poor, who arguably have maybe just as much as they do. And then it's also like her family owns a pharmacy. That should have been the first call that you made, but I also understand Peggy like not wanting to worry her family. Y'all, oh my God, I almost forgot to mention Aurora. Poor Aurora. Could you imagine? Your man cheats on you and then comes to you like, you gotta let me out of this marriage so I can go be with my girl. Are you crazy? You don't get to do that. You don't get to send her to Newport while you ride off into the sunset with your new hoe. Why don't you abandon the mistress like a real man? Who do you think you are? You just gonna ruin this lady's prospect. And what's so horrible is that through no fault of her own, she's going to be quote unquote ruined in society because this man decided that he wanted to be with somebody else. I'm so mad at that gorgeous, gorgeous man. I can't even deal with it. Lastly, y'all, how is Gladys gonna succeed at eloping? You and your bangs done packed up your things to shuffle off into the night to do what? You can't call that man and tell him, hey, I'm on the way, meet me outside. Did you send a servant to go deliver the message? What you gonna do? What's your plan here? I don't know about it. Oh, forgot to mention, Marianne and Larry are in their talking phase, courting phase. They have to keep it a secret, but everything is an open secret because, again, there's no television, there's no social media, there's nothing to do. Okay, all these people have is low stakes intrigue. So like, everybody know y'all like each other, but Marianne is being very cautious because she just broke up with her cousin Dashiell, so that engagement got called off. So she wants to move more carefully with this new one. And Larry said, you know, I get it, but I ain't gonna wait for long. Larry, what you gonna go do? What you gonna do? What else do you have to do? Let's be real. So that's it for episode 1 of season 3. I will be back so that we can talk about episode 2. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, join the Patreon so we can maybe talk about some exclusive content. If you guys have ideas of what you'd like to see, keep it cute. We're not talking OnlyFans around here, okay? I'm not that girl. But you know, what we can talk about in our little, you know, family of TV chatter or whatever that y'all might like to see on Patreon. Okay, talk soon. Bye.